Okay. Welcome to Twitch Tuesdays with your host, me. um, okay, so this is something that we started. We did the first episode last week. This was after a discussion. Hey, how are you, Dragonheart? This was a discussion that took place between Dragonheart 305 and I. Actually, he's on right now with us. And he sat with me and we were talking about my stream and the fact that I'm always super duper busy and that I wasn't able to do a regularly scheduled program. Yeji's on Snickernack Studios. Be sure to give him a follow. Hey, Dragonheart, if you're not already following Snickernack Studios, I definitely suggest that you follow her and Clint too. Hi, Babe D. How are you, sweetie? See, everybody's starting to roll on in. But anyway, so after some discussion, we Dragonheart talked to me and said, "Hey, you need to do at least one regularly scheduled slot, so that way everybody, has a scheduled time with you and all that good stuff. And it's good for the channel and what have you." And so I had to look at the schedule. I miss you too. I see you next week. And so I looked at the schedule, and basically the only chunk of time right now that would be good would be Tuesdays from 6 to 8. So we're starting out by doing that, and if we have to adjust accordingly, we will. So hopefully you will enjoy this. No problem. Yep, you won't regret following her, that's for sure. So basically how this show is going to be structured is basically you have 2 hours with me, and you can feel free to ask questions if you want to about whatever. And also, basically, we'll work on some stuff, whatever's currently going on. Excuse me, sorry. For example, today I have a couple of things that are in progress. One thing for Blackheart models, and another thing that I was doing just for funsies because I was testing out a paint color. But I figure I'm just going to continue on doing some stuff on that, and so we'll do that together. And then we can talk about everything, nothing, and nothing at all, whatever, it is. So it's kind of like a fly by the seat of our pants, for 2 hours kind of deal. And we did that last week, and that seemed to work out pretty good. So Dragonheart, you will see that you have a little diamond next to your name. I don't think that you have it on other stuff. Which, by the way, Snickernack, I got to do it for you too. Actually, I thought I already said it for you. That basically means you are a VIP. So you have a diamond next to your name in the chat because you are a VIP. And I could sworn, Yeji, I thought that I put it in for you too. But I'll go in and I'll reset it because I know you were one of them definitely that I did it for. So I'll go in and make sure I do that. And by the way, Babe D, Diana has one too. So, yeah, did you notice that? I don't think you'll see it on the other chats, but yeah, there's like, it only let me choose so many people, like 10 people, so I did that. So hopefully you enjoy that and everything. Feel free to share on your Facebook, your Twitter, and whatever that we're on. The more people that they see is on, the bigger the show gets. The bigger the show gets, the more companies notice, and then they will do things usually like throw stuff at you and be like, "Hey, why don't you give this away to your peeps?" Maker Mike, what is up, my friend? Hope I'm here. Kept getting sent to last week's or PAX Live. Nope, you're here. At least I see you in the chat, unless you're chatting and then looking at something at the same time, in which case you must be pretty gifted to be in two places at once. So, yeah. So here's what we got going on. So like I said, okay, so this is a bolt action figure. This is a 15 millimeter, I believe. It's an M3 Lee. Jim Wapple gave it to me. Jim's a friend of mine. And one Adepticon, we were talking about doing oil paints on certain vehicles and everything. And so when I first got my Death Guard, I got the Death Guard green spray. And so I tested it out actually on this model to see how Death Guard green would come out before doing it on my Death Guard army. So that's what Death Guard green looks like. Let me see if I should move over the light a little bit. That might help. Yay! Put a little light on the subject. So that's what Death Guard green looks like. And I know it looks a little bright because of the way I have the light. I don't know. Well, it's a work in progress. We'll figure this out, So there is some wash on it. It is a scale 75 oil wash. Let me show you which color I used. I think I already put it aside. Oh, that's my cat screaming outside the door, acting like I don't pay any sort of attention to him. But believe me when I tell you he is spoiled. Okay. So I used one of these rust colors. I think it was either dark rust or light. Was it light rust? I don't even know anymore. See, that's what happens when you get old. You'll find out. So anyways, oh, here, dark rust. So this is a scale 75 oil wash in dark rust. Let me see if I can get it to clear up. And there you go. So when you do oil washes, oil anything, make sure you use separate brushes for that. So that so if any, because you use turpentine and stuff in order to clean off the oil and such. So you definitely want to use separate brushes for that. At least in my opinion, you do. That's just my thought, but that's what I put over it. And I got about 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 colors of oil washes. As a matter of fact, on the YouTube channel, there is a video that I have where I demonstrate the 6 oil washes that I got. And when you put oil washes on, they take about, sometimes you might, if you do it heavily, if you put the washer on heavily like I did it first on this, you might want to let it dry overnight. But in some other cases too, usually you could start painting over it about like a half hour to an hour after use. Yeah, hey, Useless, how are you? It's Useless Wizard. Be sure to follow him too. His name is Ryan. He's also a painter. So be sure to follow him. Hey, guys, also too, just so I don't forget to tell you, you can feel free to post your links to your Facebook pages, your Instagrams, your YouTube channels, and stuff like that, because, you know, we're all, those of you who know me know that I'm about community and stuff, and, you know, for your painting and stuff like that, you know, feel free to share your links, because it's all about community, so that way we can all watch each other's stuff. And oh my god, I better open the door before Ollie has a heart attack. Oh my god. Okay, Oliver James, I opened the door for you. Come on, come in, hurry up. Jesus. Got Ocean's 8 playing in the background. All right, so now the cat's inside. Now he's going to stop crying. So there we go. We got Useless Wizard. He put up his Instagram. Be sure to follow. There you go. All right. So yeah, so oil washes. You want to do when you put them on, you want to give it about a half hour to an hour to dry. It really depends on how much you put and everything. Before you put other paints, other colors, or other washes over it. I'm sorry, this thing keeps being in my face, but that's the only way you guys can really see what's going on. Other stuff that happened. So, in last week's show, I had the placement that I had the goal bars on was kind of in an awkward place. Again, this is a work in progress. We're learning as we go along and stuff. So, I moved that around. I moved where the subscription announcements are. I moved that over to the right. And then I put the the goal bars up at the top. So that way there's a bigger open space. And then I moved my face down to the bottom right, where usually there's paints and other doodads and stuff anyway. So that's of no consequence. But I've moved that all over. So hopefully you guys like the way that looks. Looks great. Good. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. The slideshow, and because some people ask me about this, the slideshow that's on the bottom right corner of the layout, those are our sponsors. These companies that you see. Oh yay, she's on. Good. You got your diamond. You see the diamond? On the diamond next to your name, I'm honestly intimidated by oil washes. I really need to try them out. You should try them out. They're a lot of fun. Oil paints are fun too. Thank you, Steve. Hi, Steve. Oh, see, Steve, Texas is on. Good layout. Thank you. So basically, yeah, so I changed that around. That looks good. But, yeah, don't be afraid to use oil washes, Wizard, because you definitely want to play with oils. Oils are, you have no idea, they are so super fun. And if you want to continue talking about that, speaking of that, so, yeah, we're going to play around on this a little bit. Do more oil wash stuff on that. And since that takes a while to dry, then we'll be able to do some finishing touch work on the Unnameable. This is by Blackheart Models. You can go on blackheartmodels.com. And I absolutely love, love, love their bust. First of all, they're a very good size for anybody to paint. They're also, the sculpts, highly detailed, yet not intimidating to paint. I think that's very important for painters of all levels, because it when people are in the beginning stages or even in intermediate stages and they're intimidated to paint something, it kind of takes the fun away. Not to say that more detailed pieces aren't still fun to paint for like advanced and stuff like that, but to have something that is a good enough sculpt that caters to everyone is definitely a really good quality for a scale model company of any kind to have. So that's what I love about the Blackheart models. Yeji, as a matter of fact, Stickernack actually uses them in one of her classes too. I believe it was Unusual Skin Tones, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely be sure to check that out. She's teaching at LVO again this year along with me. So be sure to check that out. But the Unnameables, going back to about the oils, I painted this in oils. All of it. So basically what I did with this one, I used Winsor Newton oils, and I also used... You taking that class at Adepticon? Good. Yeah, you're going to have a good time with that. So basically, there's I used Winsor & Newton oils and also Master's Touch, which you can get at Hobby Lobby. So if you want to start out with oils, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, because I know that when you buy the tubes, they can be a little on the expensive side. But the thing is, though, to put it in perspective, is the oils will last you a long time. So that's definitely helpful to know. But when I sat there and first started experimenting with oils, I got this Master's Touch set from Hobby Lobby, and it was $12.99. And then don't forget to bring your 40% off coupon, so it ended up being stupid cheaper than that, right? What kind of brushes should we use with oils? Synthetics. There were synthetic brushes that came in this case, so yes, you can use synthetic. I've used Sable too, and I've had no issue. As a matter of fact, the oil brushes that I have aside right now, I'll even show you if you want. This one came in this set with the Master's Touch oils. Hobby Lobby should sponsor you as well. Yeah, right? Right? Man, that would get me in trouble. You don't know. This is a cheap brush from a set that I bought on Amazon. They had them on as an add-on item, and I put in a large order for the shop. Ollie, why are we walking on a counter? That doesn't need to be happening, sir. He's just doing that because he wants attention, just so that you know. So anyways, this came from a set. It was an add-on item through Amazon, and there was a set of a bunch of brushes. This was in it too, actually. There was this and like a bunch of other brushes, and I looked at them for class brushes, and it was like $3 and change for the set, and there was like 5 or 6 brushes in each set. It was really awesome. And so I have that for oil. And then I have this GW shade brush. That's a Sable brush. And I've used it with oil, and I haven't had any problems or anything. Let me see what else. Okay, this one here. Okay, so this is a Winsor & Newton brush, and it's called, it's a Cotman 999, and it's a very soft brush. Now, the reason why I have it is because when you do oil painting, sometimes there's some lines from the brush strokes, okay? But what you do is you lightly go over those lines with this soft brush. Sorry, there's a hair on it. So you lightly go over the lines, and then it blends it all together. You don't want to do it really rough, like as if you're blending makeup, but you do it very gently, and then it has everything blend together, and then you don't really see the brush strokes. So that's what this soft brush does. But those are my oil brushes right now that I have aside, and I used them all on the Unnameable. And here's what the oil paints look like. Sorry, every time I open it. Alright, so important thing, this is something Jim Wapple taught me. Having eyeshadow, makeup brushes. Okay, so these ones are ones that are usually used for testing for lip gloss. Oh yeah, no problem. You're welcome. And then some eyeshadow brushes. Okay, now after Christmas, they had a sale at Ulta, and I got a whole big pack of them. Eyeshadow brushes for $2.49, but I think they were on sale on top of that, so I think I paid like $2 or something. So that's for if it serves as like an eraser, or like if, for example, you started by taking the model and going over it with raw umber to create like a wash beforehand, and then you would use the eyeshadow brush to take the umber off the surface, so that way it looks like it only went into the recesses. So that would be an example of what you would use the makeup, the eyeshadow sponge brush for. Or, like I said, if you make a mistake with oil, you could just go over it with like an eyeshadow brush, and it serves as like an eraser. And oil is forgiving like that, so you could do that. So this is what the oil paints look like. This is the $12.99 set, like I told you. And there's 12 colors. But if, let me move this out of the way. The last thing I need is to knock this over when I'm trying to show something, right? So 12 colors. And it has every color that you need for mixing. Now, if you really want to get down to splitting hairs, all you need is your primary colors. So all you need is red, blue, and yellow. And as long as you have those primary colors, you can mix and make any color. And then you would have your black for tinting, and then your white for lightening. All right? So that's really all you would need. So all these other colors that you have here, burnt umber makes an awesome shade color, and then you have plant green, phthalo blue, which is like a little bit darker of a blue. It's not as bright as the ultramarine. Crimson red, which is your dark red. This is a good color to use in skin tone, just so that you know. And also you have yellow ochre. That's good for a warm palette, kind of yellow. All right, you got your lemon yellow, which is like, so these are just bonus colors, but the only ones you really, really need is red, ultramarine blue, yellow, white for lightening, black for tinting to make darker. Okay, so that's what's in the set. Questions, thoughts, comments, thoughts on life. Now, for skin color, a good one, I got Winsor & Newton in Flesh Tint. I absolutely love this, and what I do is, and I use that on the Unnameable. It's one of the main colors that was used on this. Was the Flesh Tint. Then there was white for when I was highlighting up as I went along. For the shading, okay, I used the Crimson Red, like I told you. Oh, excuse me. And I used the phthalo blue. I didn't want to use ultramarine because that would have been too bright. But since I have, if I had to use it, then I could have. But what I used was the phthalo blue. And what I did, it's a very healthy looking flesh color. Thank you. So what I did was I mixed that crimson red to do like the purple shade. I mixed the crimson red and I mixed that phthalo blue together to make a dark purple, okay? And then in certain other shaded areas, I put, where I did mixes where there was crimson red in there, but then there were mixes where there was more phthalo blue than red. And then in some other shadowed areas, there was more crimson red than phthalo blue. So that way it just gave it some more dimension. When I did the hair, I did, I believe it was, sorry, let me look at this again. I did phthalo blue, and then I did I did phthalo blue, phthalo green to make like a teal, and then some white to lighten it up. So because I wanted there to be a contrasting color from the flesh tint and from the purple, I did it by feel. Yeah, just like my music, I play by ear. I did this by feel. That's truthfully what I did there. So examples of, I don't know what my cat's messing around with, and I'm afraid to find out. So, psst, hey, psst, hello. What are you doing in the bag? I don't even think he knows what he's doing. Anyway, so I did it by feel, and I wanted there to be a good contrasting color. So I made the hair like a teal. And then in the more shadowed areas, I took that teal color and mixed a little bit of the purple shadow mix that I did for the shadow and the skin tone, so that way it all ties together. And I put it, you could see it a little bit in the shadowed areas. Now my plans are with the hair is I'm just going to highlight up to a white, maybe with some gray, a cool gray in there. And that's my plan for what to do with the hair. I'm not planning on going too crazy or anything like that. Although I do see while I'm talking to you that there's where I did a highlighting on the chin. And this is the cool thing about oil colors too, is that it stays dry for, stays wet rather, for like a while. So if, say, you work on a model and then you go back to it the next day, usually you could still work on it some, and it's still all good. And also when you go over it, if, say, you wait a few days and then it's dried, you can still go back on top of it and it'll all still blend together. So oils are really awesome like that. You missed a lot of stuff, ma'am. You need to stop falling asleep in class. You had a phone call. Ain't nothing more important than hanging out with us, okay? Everybody, y'all need to tell her, okay? Someone need to let this girl know what's up, okay? So, I'm going to do, my plans are, in order to do some finishing touches on it, is to do a little highlighting detail on the horns. Also, to do a little more shading inside the ears, just because of the way that the recesses in the ears are. Aw, Wizard, you're so nice. You're spoiling her. So, I'm going to do some more shadowing inside the ear there, but I could do acrylics with that. I got some acrylics aside to do that. Okay. I also have some acrylics for the highlighting, and I'm going to highlight some certain spots on the skin. And I think that'll give things a little more pop. At least that's my hope. And then, yeah, I got the colors already aside to do the hair. So that's my plans on that. Nothing crazy. Oh, and fixing the mouth a little bit. Doing some highlighting on the mouth. Fix the teeth some. And a little more shadowing in the tongue. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do on the base. On the wolf, you'll see up on the... He's nice to me, unlike my Lynn. I know, that's why I said he's spoiling you. I gotta get my brownie points for class. That's true, you do. You do. Oh, it looks good in Passover. Oh my God. He got you pegged. He already has everything planned out. So yeah, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with the base. I thought about kind of doing it where there's blood, because I might do some blood running out on the mouth too. But I haven't really decided, because the reference artwork that I looked at rather, from the Lovecraft from the movie, it didn't really, I don't know, there was some that had blood, some that didn't. So I'm really not sure yet what I'm going to do. So we'll figure it out. We'll get it going. Sometimes I just figure the stuff out as I go along, and that is okay. So, let's look at our M3 Lee here. That was given to me by the great Jim Wapple. First of all, I need to pull out my reference artwork that I have for it. Let's see. So, the Wolfman that I painted for Blackheart is on Instagram, and it's on Twitter, if you want to check that out. And what I ended up doing with the basing, I'll even see if I have it. Well, it's got to be on my profile, right? Makes sense. I put it up yesterday, I believe. I share everybody's stuff, so now it's all crowded up. Okay, so, I don't know how well this could see in the picture, but it's on Twitter. Yay! Okay. You could see on the base there, what I ended up doing was I took blue, a blue-gray, and a copper. And I ended up just dabbing the colors on. Just randomly. I didn't do nothing crazy, you know, nothing special. I just kind of dabbed the colors on. Just to, you know, so that the colors all tie in together. Just for funsies. Made it look like scratch, worn, stuff like that. And then from far away in the picture, it actually makes it look really cool. I just didn't want to do plain black. I thought about it, and then I was like, no, I want to do a little something on it. So that's what I got for that. That's what I did to the Wolfman. And he's on Twitter and he's on Instagram. I still got to put him on the Facebook page, but I had a busy day at work, so I didn't get to do it. The M3 Lee. That's like really far back. Because I started on it like a while ago. There's a lot of stuff in line to paint and do on stream and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff in store for the show, aside from whatever I got going on that I'm working on. So I had a reference artwork for the M3 Lee. Actually, we can even just search online. Maybe that's what I'll do. M3 Lee. Images. Here we go. This is basically along some of what I was doing. What are oil metallic paints like? Are they similar to normal oil paints? I mean, in my opinion, yes. They still take a long time to dry. They blend well, stuff like that. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going along off of this. No, show me the picture. Ugh. So we're going to go along over with this artwork is what we're going to do. Which basically matches. Yeah, it's a little darker than the Death Guard green, but, you know, whatever, same idea. And I did black oil wash on the wheels, but I think I'm going to go over with some brown, like regular paint, regular acrylic, I mean, instead of oil wash. Kind of see how that comes out. And I'm just looking to see what else I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do, okay, so for the next part of oil wash that I was going to do is I'm going to put some grease color on that is what I think I'm going to do. So I think that's what I was going to do. I'm going to get my shade brush for that I use the oils with. You got to make sure your brush is clean. I did it in the water because I already cleaned it before, but when you clean oil off, I have the turpentine, sorry, it's odorless turpentine that you can get at Hobby Lobby. And I just put it in a container so that way when I use it, like sometimes, like when Jim and I last oil painted together at Adepticon, we used like soda bottle caps. We just used whatever we had on hand. We just roughed it. And you can use the same turpentine for a bit, but once it gets too dirty and stuff, you're going to want to get rid of it and put new ones in. But I have it in a bigger bottle like that, and then, you know, I just refill accordingly as I need to. So my plan is, first I got to shake it a little more first. My Christmas tree is still up. What, on the screen? I don't even see it anymore, because right after Christmas, it went down. How are you able to see it? I don't see anything. Do you guys all see the Christmas tree still, or is she just, is she rocking the ganja, not passing it over? What's going on here? Talk to me. Alright, putting some in a palette here. I'm only using a little bit. Because I'm going to put it on the bolts part. So that's why I'm not going to use too much. So because I'm only doing it in little spaces there, it's probably going to take about 30 minutes to dry. It's there. No. Oh, it's an extension or something because I was able to close it. I don't see any tree. I don't know. Oh, I guess if, like Brian said, yeah, because I sat there and I put it for Christmas, and around Christmas time, I was able to see the tree. Basically, what the objective of the tree was, is if you buy bits and do bits and cheers, it lets you decorate the tree. That's what that was for. So I put that up for you for funsies. I don't know if it's still where if you put cheers and bits that you can put a mask on my face for 20 seconds. I put in for that too, just for funsies. You know, I saw that. I was like, oh, that sounds funny. I'm sure that, like, if I do that, like, somebody will put a screwy mask on me, but I don't know if it still does that or not. So, all right. So we got grease, and I put a little bit on a palette. Sorry, let me show you. So that way we're all on the same page. We all know what's going on. It's right here. If you hover with your cursor, it'll show up. Really? Let me see if it shows up for me. Nope, doesn't show for me. No Christmas tree for me. Alright, so a little bit of grease, and what my plan is just wherever there's like joints, screws, stuff like that, I figure I'm going to put the grease there because that's where grease would build up, right? Oh well. Yeah, like I said, I was able to see it around Christmas time, but after that, like, I think it was New Year's or something, it went away. I was like, that made me very sad. No big loss until December. Yeah, pretty much. 10 more months, Yeji. 10 more months. hold on to your Christmas tree for on the screen for 10 more months. Because we're going into February now. So it shows a little bit darker around the screws. I have AK Interactive for grease also. Where did I put it anyway? I could show you guys that too. I can always add that on with this too. I have all different kinds of stuff from AK Interactive, like the rain spots, stuff like that. You'd be surprised, that stuff really works too. Bah humbug, I'm Scrooge McSnick. Now we got to get a stocking or a Santa hat and put that on there for you. Scrooge McSnick. Snicky Scrooge. Alright, so you just basically, if you're just trying to get a little for the bolts and everything, you just want to dot it in. Because if you put it all over, then it might not get that same effect. You know, that realistic look of grease around a, you know, a nut or bolt or whatever. I don't even know if you can see it like this. Can you see it? Okay. There you go. See where it's a little darker around the circles? I know. Put a little light on the subject. That's what she said. Yeah. That is what I said. I think I'm going to put some grease in here too. You want to put some grease where the wheat. Well, in that case, I guess I'm using more than I thought, right? Grease. I guess we're going to use more than we thought. That is okay. And in that case, I'm just going to keep the container open then. I'm just going to do this because that's going to be easier. That's by NEWay Designs. This is a no spill. So if you have GW pots or something like this, what this does is it prevents spill. So that's what this is for. You can get it on their website on NEWayDesigns.com. Spelled N-E-W, by the way, not A-N-Y. But they have lots of fun stuff like this. But yeah, I'm putting that so that way I don't knock it over and spill it, because, you know, that would be my luck. It wouldn't be my life if I, you know. I spy with my little eyes some amazing skin tone colors. Yes, you do! Chris just called. Well, what's he doing? Chris is one of Babe D's sons. They have a son in the military. Yeah, so those amazing skin tone colors that you're referring to, Yeji, I plan to use on the Unnameable for the finishing touches. Like I said, not going to go too crazy on it. That Unnameable, you're right, can be a little bit of a challenge when it comes to picking colors. And I had a hard time picking out what colors to do, too, because, you know, Aaron did one, you know, color scheme that I was thinking of, and then Someone else did another one, and then you know, Kathy did hers, and I try not to do the same, you know, the same color scheme unless, like, say, you know, a client asked for it, or that's the only way to do it, or something like that. But other than that, when I do, excuse me, a model for myself, or one that I'm given free reign on to do whatever color I want, I try to make sure it's a dad question, not a mom question. Yeah, gun questions. Well, yeah, I mean, no, gun questions could be a mom question too. Okay, I have marksmanship medals and stuff. So you want to make sure to put the grease anywhere where grease would happen. So like these are moving parts on the tank. So there's going to be grease in there. But yeah, whenever I do a model that I either have free reign on or do, you know, for myself, I try not to do the same color scheme as everyone else. You know, just that everybody has different ones to look at, and just because I like being different. And then in other stuff, oh my god, another example was, okay, so the Noise Marine, I plan on doing like Gene Simmons from Kiss. Then I look on Instagram and somebody did, and I don't honestly remember off the top of my head who it was. It's a beautiful job, but they did the Noise Marine as Paul Stanley, to which I was like, ah! So it's like, I still want to do Gene Simmons, but I don't want dude to feel like I'm copying off him either. I got it for Christmas, and then right when I got it for Christmas, the first thing I thought was, oh yeah, I'm going to make him like Gene Simmons, and I'm going to sculpt a tongue, you know, put a conversion, put a tongue on him and stuff, so that he has like the Gene Simmons tongue. At least that's my plan on my Noise Marine. This is actually a moving part. This is an actual moving part. Like, it moves literally, so I gotta put grease. Otherwise, I'm not doing it no justice. There we go. There. Alright. So I put grease. I'm double checking myself and making sure that I got every bolt part there, because they're so tiny and everything, and there's so many of them. And then there's some that aren't really as dark as I'd like them to be. And that's okay. Sometimes when you do a wash, you might have to go over it more than once. And if that's the case, it's cool. Do what you need to do, boo. Do you, boo? Alright. Got some grease on there. Oh, yeah. Grandpa would be proud. Yeah. I don't know. You can't really see it that clear because of the camera. There we go. How does that look? When I did the ground part, I did it in dark mud. So all I'm going to do left on that is probably like some dry brushing or something like that. Nothing. And I'm using the turpentine that I have, the odorless turpentine. And cleaning off the brush. Put that back. Use the handy dandy spill proof to put the cap back on. Don't want to spill it. If you don't have to, put that back. Put the cap back on the turpentine. Turpentine, turpentine. So what are your thoughts, guys, about me uploading these onto YouTube? With the exception of course, when there's you know, a really important episode or something really good that comes on or something like that, you know, then of course, yeah, I'd upload it, because if there's some important news. And from what, if I remember right, I don't remember though, how long does Twitch leave videos up on a channel? I know they only do it for so long, but I don't remember. Is it 30, 45 days or something like that? I know that if you don't have a Prime account, then it's only like 15 days or something. But if you do have Prime, then it's like 30, 45 days or something. I'm doing that to put it... Oh, if you have Prime, it's 90 days. Okay, so it would be up for 90 days. Alright, so do you think that we should only do the important episodes and throw them up on throw them up on YouTube, or should we like sit there and like put the week before's episode on YouTube, so that way those who actually are here are actually here at the time that it happens, and then if you're behind, kind of like do it like Hulu or something where you get it after the fact. Well, they do the episode the next day, but you know, I forgot I should save this art reference photo because I didn't save it last time, so shame on me. There we go. All right. We haven't. Wait, you haven't what? You haven't uploaded any of your Twitch stuff? Because if I remember right... Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's important, it should go up. Yeah, okay. Or that little bit of important info. Oh, like a clip. Yeah, alright, I see what you mean. Alright. So the back is done in black with Stynylrez Res Primer. Let's see if I can get this more. Alright, hopefully that's a little better. So yeah, so this is done in black with Stynylrez Res Primer. Alright, now I'm looking to see what I want to do first. Kind of like decide, do it by feel kind of deal. Oh, there's also some cracks in the skin too. And so I am going to go in there with a detail brush and kind of accentuate or give those little crackles in the skin some pop. And I'm going to do that with the Nocturna skin color that Yeji was referring to. I think I'm going to mix those two colors, or maybe I'll just do the reddish flesh. I haven't honestly decided yet. But this is going to be for the highlighting part of the skin. This is going to be the Reaper Golden Ballon, and Linen White is going to be for the horns. And I'm going to show you how to highlight the horns. Basically, horns are made of bone, so they have little striations in them, little lines. They are important and special to us. What's that camera stand that you have? Oh, the camera stand I have, it's a boom mic stand, actually. I got it from Guitar Center. We're trying to figure out our camera setup because attaching it to the desk doesn't work for shaking. Oh, yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, this is a boom mic stand that I got from Guitar Center, and it cost... so that, and then I got a holder from Guitar Center also, and it can hold like a phone for recording, like you use it for performance, and you can put it on your mic stand. It holds a phone and other stuff, but I use it to hold my Logitech C922, and it works just as well for that. And altogether, this setup that you see here is I paid $70 for it or something like that. So that's what that is. So I'm looking to see what I want to do first. I know I definitely want to use the purple, the Nocturna purple shade. There's a blog on my website on metalheadminis.com where I talk about the Nocturna Fantasy Pro skin colors, both the fairy flesh, which is basically human skin tone, and the malefic flesh, which is the monster skin tone. And Yeji and I's mutual friend Charles, who's an awesome guy. And actually, Yeji, I don't know if Charles talked to you yet about the possibility of us three doing a show together where we're on Discord, the three of us, and we're just painting and talking about stuff, because when the three of us hang out together, we laugh a lot and talk about funny stuff. So we were talking about doing something like that sometimes, and I don't know if he talked to you about that yet, but that was something we were talking about. But anyway, Yeji and Charles both pointed me out to these, and Charles actually got me these, the both sets of the Nocturna skin tones as a gift for teaching him and helping him with his airbrush. So that was very sweet. He hasn't talked to me about it, but I'm up for it. I figured you would be. And I told him that too. I told Charles, I was like, yeah, I think Yeji's totally going to want to do that. And actually, Discord was at PAX South where I went, and they had, I asked him about, I said, hey, are you able to do a video conference thing and like do it on Twitch? And he said, yeah, you can do like up to 9 people or something like that, he said. So I was like, oh, well, okay, yeah, I think we're going to do that. So I'm using a porcelain palette. I switch off between porcelain palettes and wet palettes. You're going to see me do that quite a bit. I usually use the porcelain palettes when I'm painting with a lot of washes and inks. So all that you see here that's already used, these were all washes and inks except for this color here, which was a flesh tone. And this here, because I've been helping Matt paint his Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum for LVO. So yeah, everything else was all washes and inks and stuff. So yeah, Mocha and I did our first multi-stream. It was weird due to lag on the audio on my end. Oh, that's a shame. Clint and I are still figuring stuff out. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I'm still figuring stuff out too. I'm not no champ at all this. I'm not gonna lie to you. So right now what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to, I'm putting in the Nocturna purple skin. And I'm using the dark purple to shade inside the tongue. Give it more depth. It comes out kind of thin, which I love. Can't wait for dinner Saturday. Do you want to do sushi on Friday? Oh, is that same place that we went to last time? I mean, I can have, like, no carb stuff. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, they had salads and meat and stuff like that. Yep, nope, no more rice. I haven't touched a grain of rice, and man, let me tell you, if you knew me since I was a kid, I used to eat rice and spaghetti like no one's business. And I haven't touched a grain of rice or any spaghetti since May 6th. May 5th, actually, was the last time I had any of that. I think on my last day, I had, I think, spaghetti on my last day, or elbow macaroni, something like that. I definitely had pasta on my last day. And that was it. Same here, 3 years. Yeah, and you're still doing weightlifting and stuff, right? I know you work out quite a bit. Yeah, my $700 rice cooker would become... Oh my god. Yeji, please tell these people about your rice cooker. Her rice cooker speaks Korean and it dances and sings. Go ahead, Yeji, tell him. Her mama brought it for her from Korea. Yepers, he's a hottie. You're so sweet. It sings to you and cooks rice in 16 minutes. Yeah, it really does. When she showed it to me, I was like, did that just sing to me? She's like, yes. It was so funny. Because last LVO, I stayed at her and Clint's apartment. This time we're partying it up in a hotel room. We're doing Vegas right this time. It sings to you. You know cook rice right. Let me show you in English. That would be really funny. Oh my god. Alright, so the Nocturna skin tone paints, like I said, there's a blog that I wrote about them in the Metalhead Minis webpage on the website there. And I really like these paints. They come out, they're not too thick, they're not too thin. They are thinner, but they're not too thin. So they come out just that right consistency. I mean, at least to me, at least my batch. My batch is very well behaved, I'll tell you that. Heck yes, and no in Korean. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That really depends. I mean, if you get herpes in Vegas, that shit stays with you, you know? Or like if you get pregnant in Vegas, that one's going to stay with you for at least 18 years unless they're a freeloader. Then you're really in trouble. They'll be calling from the basement screaming for juice at the age of 40. So, you know, you got to be careful. Needs to be multi-language. It ends up on Facebook. Yep, truth! MetalheadMinis.com/blog. Thank you for sharing that. You're the best. Dragonheart shared our blog page from the website. Feel free to check it out. It's all kinds of interesting stuff. Now what I'm doing is I'm using that purple skin and I'm just following along the recessed lines in the ear. Yep, like that decoration with the little 8-year-old. Yeah, no kidding. I'm trying to see if I can get a little light on the subject so that you can actually see it, maybe, if the camera wants to behave. Well, you'll definitely see it in the pictures if nothing else, right? Yeah, just filling in the recesses in the ears. Hey, so something I found out about, I don't know if this is going on local to you. You might want to check on the web to find out. But I found out local to me that there's a program that is looking for donated formal wear and semi-formal wear. And to donate to foster children, so older foster children, obviously, you know, teenagers, kids that are about to age out, seniors in high school, basically, that are getting ready to, marriage in Vegas, no kidding, that are getting ready to have a prom, because, you know, here we are almost in February, and some kids are having their proms in April, May, June, whatever. And so, local to me anyway, they're asking for semi-formal and formal wear to be donated to give to the foster kids so that they can have a prom, or have clothes for prom, rather. So I already put some clothes aside to donate for that. And so I don't know, you might want to check on the web and see if anyone local to you is looking for that same thing. But, you know, I definitely have every intention of donating clothes for that. I was in foster care. I signed myself out when I was 18 because I was already, you know, on my own and, you know, paying my own bills, all this other stuff. So I signed out when I was 18. But usually any kind of cause, especially to help kids in general, especially, you know, foster kids and stuff like that, I'm usually all for that. So. Or I can always forward you the email that I got at work, because it's a friend of mine at work that told me about the one that's local to me. But if you want, I can forward you the info for what address that the drop-off is. I'm sure you can ship stuff over to them too, but I'm sure there's something local to you too, so that way you don't have to pay for shipping. I'm using that purple skin tone, and I'm going to try and see how it looks on the cracks in the skin. Give it some pop. Dress for Success? No, it's for the kids, the foster kids that are seniors in high school, so that they have clothes for prom. Because, you know, most of the time their foster parents aren't going to sit there and buy them prom clothes. Mine didn't. My grandpa was still alive at the time, so he got me all my prom stuff. He made me go to prom. I didn't even want to go to prom. I wanted to go to the shore with my friends, you know, that I grew up with. There was a big group of us that all grew up together. I wanted to go to I wanted to go to the shore with everybody. We were going to go to Seaside Heights and spend the weekend at the shore and say, screw the prom. But no, my grandpa made me go because he didn't go to his. So he was like, no, you're going to the prom. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go to the prom. I want to go to the shore, and I want to go play at the arcades, play video games. And Grandpa was like, no, you're going to the prom. And I was like, why do I have to be punished because you made shitty choices? Well, needing a bigger house, that really depends. I mean, I don't know, maybe that is how it is in Nevada, but I've lived with a foster mom that had an apartment. It was a nice size apartment. She worked for Pepsi, but it really depends on where you're at. Basically, in most cases, in most states, the rule is as long as the child has their own bedroom to sleep in, then that's usually okay, you know. Or I can understand if, like, say, maybe you want to have a bigger house so that the kid has room to play and stuff. Yeah, that's totally fair. I can understand that. Yeah, oh, well, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. So that way, if you have a kid for a long period of time, then there's room. Yeah, all right, that's fair. Which, by the way, how are the kids doing? But yeah, it really depends. But I lived with a foster mom. She was a single woman. She worked for Pepsi. She was really nice. She was one of the only nice foster homes that I had, and she was in an apartment in the Bronx, and I was placed with her for about 8 months. But she was really nice. She took me all kinds of places. She loved doing outdoor stuff, so she took me canoeing and stuff like that. And I was actually getting trained at the time to start racing, doing racing and canoeing and kayaking. So it kind of sucked when I had to leave her because I really wanted to pursue that. Mika's doing amazing in school. Xavier's voice dropped. He's turning 12 in a couple of days. Oh, his voice dropped. Oh my God. I'll never forget when Seamus went through puberty and I swear to you, his voice changed like overnight. He was squeaking a lot and then all of a sudden one day he's calling from upstairs for something and he was just like, oh, and I was like, who the hell is upstairs on my second floor? I'm about to drop kick somebody. And it was him. Sometimes some kids, man, puberty hits them like a friggin' like a bomb, and it happens real fast. That is seriously not a slow process. Well, depending on the kid anyway. I swear, I think it happens earlier and earlier in life too. Violet needed deodorant by the time she was 7. Had to wear a bra by the time she was 8. Like, I was just, it's just wild. I know they say it's, because of the hormones and food and stuff like that, but I mean, and it could be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or whatever, but I mean, like, that very well could be. But geez, it's amazing how fast kids can grow up. It makes you feel real friggin' old. Sadly, we didn't hear the squeaking as we don't speak to them every day. Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Second graders getting their periods. Yeah, that's to me is ridiculous too. It's just crazy. Kids grow up too fast now. So enjoy them while you have them, because you're just going to blink your eyes and then they're going to be adults and getting married and everything else. I'm trying to get too much. Get off! Getting the excess water on that brush. He's trying to fight me. So I'm using that purple to get in the eyes there to make the deep set of the eyes look more. Because when I went to do the highlighting there, I think I went a little, I got in the crevices a little more than I wanted to. So I figured I can always just go in with the acrylic and fix it up, and that's what I'm doing. If you're going to go in with acrylic after oil, you got to make sure the oil, at least in my experience, you got to make sure that oil dries pretty good before you go in. I don't know, I've usually gotten better results when I did that. Alright. Just to make that deep set look a little more. Make it look a little more like something going on. No mind. And then I went in with that purple skin on the cracks in the skin to make it pop a little more. I know you can probably see it a little bit. What do you think? What you stink? What you stink? Because the cracks aren't everywhere in the skin. It's just in some places. So I didn't want to go too crazy. Oh, wait, I see. Who is this? Oh, okay. Our website just got an email. An email. What? The email. There's a couple more cracks in the skin that I found that I'm going in with the purple. Rick and Morty is on in the background. Oh my God, there was this one line in Rick and Morty that had me laughing so hard the other day. There was a husband and a wife that were at a wedding party, and supposedly the wife kept on being overly critical with her husband. He turns around, and the husband rather, he turns around and he says to his wife, you know what, I forgot the wife's name, you know what, so-and-so, why don't you go to the men's section of Kmart and cut me some slack? I was eating a lettuce wrapped turkey burger, which I almost choked on when that dude said that line. I lost it. I was like, that is hysterical. So out of left field. I know it probably was stupid, but I thought it was hysterical. That's just me. Now I'm trying to get those lines in the forehead. There's deep set lines in the forehead. You gotta make sure to get those. Don't leave them out. Because what you're doing is you're making it help stand out that that face has expression. It is very important when you're painting a face, especially when you're doing a bust, because the face on the bust is the main focus. I mean, that's all there is. It's a head. It's that much more important to make sure to touch on these details if it gives more expression, if it gives more, intense eyes, stuff like that. You got to make sure to touch on that stuff. Unexpected is a huge part of humor. Yeah, no kidding on that. But yeah, that was so funny. It's like, you know what? Why don't you go to the men's section of Kmart and cut me some slack? And then Matt went to work the next day, and his boss turned around, and he's friendly with his bosses, and so they were joking around with Matt about something. And then he turned around and he goes, you know what, Doug? Why don't you go to the men's section of Kmart and cut me some slack? And supposedly his other boss almost choked on his drink, laughing at what he said, because it was so unexpected. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Now we use that line wherever we can. Yeah, so I did that with the purple skin from Nocturna that worked with Vallejo, and some of the details in the face, in some of the recesses in the ring, just to make it stand out more. That's all right. When I sit there and I do the picture, I'm sure then you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's what you did, crazy lady. That needs to get it together with your light and camera. All right, let me answer this real quick. There we go. Answered the customer question. Now, did that line part. Wait, what's that? What's that? I got bits? Who said this? Thank you. The Maddock 100. Yay! Free of the code to watch this. Oh, that's right. Thank you so much for those bits. That's so sweet. From the Maddock. Thank you. And Kenny's on. Okay, I made it. Woke up after a 3-hour power nap. How's it going, Lynn? Good. We're working on the Unnameable, doing some finishing touches. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So, did you see, Kenny, you have a diamond next to your name. Get VIP. Longtime fan, transplanted from Allen up to Iowa. Good to see you live. It's good seeing you too. And Lord Hypno's on. Another one of our VIPs. How are you? And you see, oh, Maddock, do you see that you're on, supposedly, I guess you're on a list there. And it says how you did a cheer. It has you up on the top of the list. That's awesome. Golden D6. Hey, Adam's on Golden D6. Be sure to follow Golden D6 also. He has a online magazine. Hey, Adam, put up the link for the magazine for Golden D6, so that way everybody knows about it. My computer's giving me all these. I usually don't want to be on the list, but I'll take this one. Yay! Top of the list. Be on top of the list is fun. So I did that. Oh, you know what we can do next? Let's do the... Let's see. I got to do the shadows a little bit. I want to do the shadows a little bit more inside. Well, I don't know if I mean, I'm happy. Oh, you know what would make it good? We'll just do the highlight then. So I can do the highlight by using Nocturna in white flesh. Let me see if it'll... No problem. Yeah, if you guys have links, those of you who are just coming in, as long as it's not a link of something like crazy or mean or derogatory, whatever, but for your mini painting, because it's all about community, or your gaming and this and that and the other, you know, share your links, because that's what it's all about. It's all about community. So yeah, those of you who are in the east, well, actually, Kenny, how's the weather over there in New York? Is it snowing and everything over there too? Sci Fantasy page is now bookmarked. Oh, see, there you go, Adam. You got a new fan. Look at you. So, yeah, and the Matic is now following. Yay! Thank you for the follow. Wow, bits, follow. It's like Christmas. So I'm using white flesh. Huh. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some reddish flesh too on the side and use the center part here to kind of mix together. You know, in case it comes out too light. I'm just going to put a little bit. And this is the Nocturna Models color by Vallejo, which is actually thinner than regular Vallejo paint in reddish flesh. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Yay, reddish flesh, it's behaving. Let me see. Not gonna lie, that sound almost made me fall out of my chair and hit my head on the mic. What's, oh, with the poor guy. Knockos, hey dude. Looking for, looking for something, the shade with black 3.0, the blackest black paint available is on Kickstarter now. Bro, share the link. Or message it to me too. I want to check this out. Because when I did the whitest white, I caused controversy. So maybe I can cause controversy with the blackest black paint. Man, I am so sorry that Larry from Models Workshop isn't on for this, because he would have loved to hear that. It was loud, louder than a New Yorker. Oh, okay, very nice, Brian, okay? Hope you have to shovel a lot of snow in Florida. You want to sit there and be a smartass. All right, I got you. I'm on to you. So at work, my territory is Illinois, and Illinois apparently got smacked with some brutal-ass weather. It's supposedly the coldest in, I don't even know how long, but supposedly with the wind chill factor, it's like 50 degrees over there or something. And I know Maddox said that he managed to get out of the freezing cold. So what's the weather over there like? What are your temperatures over there? I mixed the white flesh with a little bit of reddish flesh, just so that it wouldn't be too stark. And what I'm doing is I'm very lightly highlighting and lining over the highest parts of on the where it shows the bones or whatever on the chest there. And then I'm cleaning the brush and going over with the clean brush to kind of sort of blend it together so it's not too stark. Hey, I married a New Yorker. That you did. Same guy. I have some of the black 2.0. It's seriously dark, but very rough in texture and not terribly durable. Wasn't able to test black 3.0, but I'm hopeful. Yeah, hopefully maybe they improved on the formula. I mean, we won't know unless we see. So Maddock, it's like negative 27 right now. Ooh, They canceled the world tomorrow for the -50. Yeah, no kidding, dude. I was hearing kind of on the news that they turn around and they canceled school and everything. Man, meanwhile in Texas, if it's so much as flurries, everything gets closed. That's always fun. It's supposed to get down to 5 tonight. Well, that sounds fun. It's going to be 1 degree for Chris, mid-60s here. Let me see what the weather is here. Let's see what the weather is in San Antonio. I know you guys are going to hate me. I'm going to end up dropping watchers because of this. They're going to be like, oh, it's 50, no one likes you. No, see? It's 46. 46 and partly cloudy. See, San Antonio. Partly cloudy, 46. Okay? My Texan ass is not equipped, but man, who you telling? Everybody tells me when it gets cold. Okay, I have people who know me know this. That really know me know this, but like I have circulatory diseases. I have 2 circulatory diseases, and so I'm always cold. So it's always funny when I sit there and I get really cold, and people are like, "But you're from New York." I'm not a friggin' polar bear. I'm a human being, you know, like my ass might as well be from Siberia or something. Like, you're from New York, so what? It's a brutal 46 degrees. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure Mocha is miserable. Poor thing being out in the cold like that. Not too much water in New York City. It's 39 here. Yeah? Vic DiBenedetto, who lives in Jersey, but I think he's from New York originally too. I'm using my finger to kind of erase what I did there. I made the line a little too thick. Supposedly Vic DiBenedetto, who's a comedian, he has a YouTube channel. He supposedly did a video about the cold front. I didn't see it yet. But he did this one video one time about how when it snows, people like lose their minds and run to the store to get water and bread. Or milk and bread or whatever it was. I don't know. But he turned around on the video. He's just joking, of course. He's a comedian. But he was like throwing a fit on the video. I gotta get milk and bread! I'm cold in the 80s. Yeah, see? Would love to trade. It's going to be 96. It's going to be 96? Hey, Blue Dragon! 46 is short weather in Michigan. Yeah. Don't look up Hawaiian weather. Yeah, I can imagine we'll be hating on them. I'm glad the cold is hitting Illinois now and not in March. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but thing is, I'm going to be talking to a lot of answering machines at work. I don't know. Maybe it's good that I managed to get, I'm a business-to-business account executive, and I'm glad I got to communicate with a lot of people that I needed to. I took care of, I moved some people's appointments to today. I turned around and I called them up and I was like, hey, we're going to talk today instead. Oh, tomorrow. I was like, you're not coming to work tomorrow, so let's just get this done today. You know? What does it say here? It's true, though. They all grabbed the milk and bread. Screw that. Grab the alcohol. See? You're like, at least you got sense. Melbourne, summer. Welcome to Melbourne, summer. Oh, that's why. Milk, bread, eggs, and TP get wiped off the shelves. Yeah, that's true. So they don't reproduce. Yeah, that's one thing about winter weather, too. They sit there and they, that's during the, yeah, when people get snowed in, they do a lot of reproducing then, don't they? When there was some big snowstorm that went on or something in San Antonio, because what do you call it? My sister-in-law is a labor and delivery nurse, and like there was a snowstorm, and then 9 months later they were stupid busy at work, and they were like, I don't understand, why is everybody having a baby? Then they counted back 9 months, and there was a snowstorm, and they were like, oh. Grab the shiner. Reminds me when a hurricane is coming. Rookies, make sure you've got enough paint. I got more than enough paint. I have a wall full. Good thing I got divorced again before this cold front hit. I don't need any more kids. You're like, I'm going to paint instead during a storm. See, Matic knows what's up. So I'm being careful to just do thin lines, a little bit at a time. You just got to be patient. You don't want it to come out looking off. You don't want it to look too stark. And you don't want, because this is a very light color, you don't want it to come out chalky looking. So that's my objective, is to not make it look chalky looking. I do not want that. Get cable. I stream TV. I don't buy cable no more. I used to, and you know, cable for me and the kids, whatever, was like $200 a month. It was like, damn, for what? And then thank God for Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix. I mean, we use Amazon Prime a lot for the shop anyway. When we have to get supplies and like shipping supplies and stuff, you'd be surprised, dude. If you do a lot of shipping, you can get shipping supplies for stupid cheap on Amazon. No joke. But yeah, like we already use Amazon Prime anyway. And I more than get paid back on shipping for it. And then on top of it, I get TV and I get to stream music. And I also have Netflix. I love Black Mirror. It was like, I may or may not have an entire paint rack from my old store in my office next to my 3D printers. I'm good on paint. Yup. See, he knows how to tough it out in the snow. As long as I have power and internet, I could survive anything, right? That's why I pay for DirecTV. Yeah, we have, I mean, now, because Matt already had, it's not DirecTV, what is it? Is it through AT&T or something like that? He has, like, the cable TV, so now we have TV in addition to me doing all the streaming. But I turned around and I told him, but like he had cable, but then no internet in the house before I moved. And I was like, bro, there needs to be internet here. I need it for work. And then I had to end up putting that in. So we took care of that. So now we got the streaming and we got cable. So, I mean, not a bad deal. Get to watch Project Blue Book, stuff like that, right? Uverse, maybe that's what it's called. I'm not gonna lie, I don't pay attention. I don't pay for that. I pay for all the streaming TV, and he pays for that. So it's good. I leave it alone. But yeah, I sit there and I watch on Netflix Black Mirror. Oh, okay. I have to tell you guys. I'm going to do a confession here. I did watch a little bit of Marie Kondo yesterday because I was curious. Everyone was talking about it. And then also, I do have OCD, and I love cleaning and organization. So I did watch Marie Kondo yesterday. Here's the thing. I can't honestly decide yet if I think she's adorable or if she annoys me because of all the squealing that she does every time she sees somebody. She seems very nice, but every time she goes into somebody's house, she's always, ah! Like I sometimes hear Stuart in my head from Mad TV. No, don't throw away your miniatures. Oh my God, never. Never. Won't do it. Oh, but I sat there and I messaged my sister-in-law, Vicky. Oh my God, this is hysterical. I messaged my sister-in-law, Vicky, and I sat there and I said to her, I can't decide whether I think Marie Kondo is adorable or if she annoys me because she squeals too much. So then Vicky says, Are you watching that Marie Kondo show?" She goes, "I won't watch it. I'm afraid to." And because in her house, because of my brother and my niece, and I guess my nephew stays with one of my nephews stays with them and stuff too, that there's so much stuff in the house. Yeah, I mean, she's nice. She doesn't mean anything by it. She's Japanese. She doesn't know a lot of English at all. She has a young lady that goes with her to the houses, and she's like her translator. And like I said, they seem really sweet people. But yeah, so I messaged Vicky, and Vicky's like, "I'm afraid to watch it." She's like, "Because I'm afraid that like I'll watch it, and then by the time I'm done, all I'll have is 2 milk crates, a blanket, and a pair of underwear." I was laughing so hard when I read her text, I just died. She's like, I'm so afraid to watch that show. I mean, she had some interesting ideas. I mean, and then her method there, the kids get all into it and everything, and her kids are into it, and I was just like, oh, all right, get down with your bad self, not bad, not bad. But yeah, I was just curious. I watched a few episodes, and it seems like a pretty cool show. I mean, after a while, it just seems to be the same stuff. It's everybody's same story. So you walk in, somebody got a crazy, messy house, and then they call on this nice little Japanese lady to come in the house, and she sits there and she tells you to clean. They had this one lady in one of the episodes, and what happens is Marie sits there and she has you start off by taking all your clothes and putting it in one pile in your house. So you sit there, you put it all in one pile in your house, and she'll usually tell you put it on top of a bed. So they had this one lady, and she put all her clothes on a pile in the spare room there, one of the spare bedrooms. This woman had literally a mound of clothes that went from the bottom of the mattress to the bed there all the way to the ceiling. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. That's a show I have to keep my mom away from. She's a clean freak as it is. As kids, our Legos were color-coded and separated in their own Ziploc bag. God forbid you mix the color. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. That's hysterical. For the lips there, I got this purple. I'm going to try and do the lips real quick. Just for fun. I thought I had magenta somewhere, too. I can grab it from the wall. I'm doing this on the lips real quick while I'm letting some flesh highlight dry. If all it takes is telling people to clean up their shit, I've got 2 kids. I'm a bloody expert. Right? You're like, let me know. I'll hop on a plane, come to your house, let me know. And you know what? It's so funny, too, because I was being laughed at this part of the show. There was this one part of the show where this one lady turns around and says, tells Marie, I really like your method because if there's something I don't want to get rid of, you don't make me feel bad about it. And Matt was painting his god, and he was watching that one episode with me. And I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. And Matt was like, nope, you'd make someone feel bad for wanting to keep something they didn't need. He said, you'd be like, what the hell do you want to keep it for? When was the last time you friggin' looked at it? And it's true. If my friend Jessica from New York was on with us, she would tell you, because I've done that to her. She was one of those too. She'd hoard everything. She had stuff from when she was like 10 or 12 years old. I went to her apartment one day. We were getting ready to go somewhere. She couldn't figure out what to wear. She had clothes that were in a closet that was located in her kitchen area. She had she had an apartment on Staten Island. It was one of those for like those mother-daughter houses where there's like an apartment downstairs from a regular house. It was a big open area. And basically one of her closets that she kept shoes in was located basically in her kitchen. And so I opened up that closet to get a pair of shoes for her. And when I opened up the door, it was so full. Burn hurt. He's silly. So I sat there and I opened up the door to that closet in the kitchen, and it was so packed so tight that all the shoes flew at me and fell on me. And I was like, I turned around to my friend Jessica and I said, change of plans. We're fixing this problem today. And we spent the day, we went to a store, we got different stuff to organize her clothes better and stuff like that, and get rid of a bunch of stuff in the closets and her makeup. Dude, her stuff was like so unorganized, for example, and stuff that, like, for example, she wouldn't be able to find a certain mascara, and she'd go to the store and buy another one, and the next thing you know, she had 5 of the same mascara. Yeah, so I went through, and she was one of those, she never wanted to let go of anything. And then I went through, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff and cleaned out her whole apartment. But yeah, that was really funny. She's like, but Lynn, I need it. No, you don't need it. Clunk, right in the trash. Right now I'm using Game Air in Warlord Purple, and it's basically a magenta. And I'm using it to do highlighting on the lips. On the bottom lip, because that's the most lip that this one has, so. And I'm doing the highlighting in lines. Okay? Like I'm not like smoothly putting it over because I want because there is detail sculpted in of some lines in the lips. So I'm making sure to make that stand out. I got the reddish flesh, and I'm going to take that reddish flesh from Nocturna, and I'm going to mix it with some of that magenta to lighten it up. And highlighting in, doing little lines. I hope that you could see it okay. I went a little further over than I wanted to. Now I'm going to try and even it up. Yeah, there we go. Using the reddish flesh, gonna go in, see how that looks. Cool thing about acrylic is if you don't like the way something looks, you could either glaze over it and change the hue of the color, or you can paint over it. No biggie. So for example, I got that reddish skin tone on the lips. I'm probably gonna go in, and I might glaze over with a purple. And what I'm doing here is I'm going in with the reddish flesh around the bottom here and creating a little bit of a lip line there, because there really isn't one. Like, there is in dark purple, but I'm just trying to create like another shadowing under there, just to not make the mouth part at the top look so flat, so to speak. And then I'm gonna go in and try and blend that a little bit. There we go. I'm trying to double check my work and look at it. I can always go back and fix it with flesh tip if I needed to. Oh. Taking that white flesh, and I'm going to make the top of the nose stand out more. Gotta do that, because that's where light hits the most. I'm just trying to focus on getting that. Get the tops of the eyebrows, or brow bone as the case may be, because she doesn't really have eyebrows. She just has brow bones. Brow bones! Rawr. Ooh, she likes you. I think she wants to make out. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, take some of that golden blonde and the off-white, and I'm going to sit there and put those little striation highlights that I told you about on the horns. I don't want to make it that pure off-white. You can in some areas, but I want there to be some... Oh man, the top of that linen white keeps coming off. Oh well. So because the top of the linen white keeps coming off, I'm digging into the cap to get some. Make sure not to get into the ferrules of the brush if you can help it, because that does build up in the brush after a while. So you don't want that. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the golden blonde and the linen white, kind of doing a half-half mix there. With the detail brush, it's important you do it with a detail brush because you're doing like thin lines, you know, and the excess water keeps There we go. You don't want there to be too much excess water because you're doing little lines. You want to... Alright. And then you want to do little lines. And you don't want the lines to be... You want them to be in the highlighted area where there's light, but you don't want them to be all even. Because anything that's natural is not even. You know, it's not like even straight lines, you know, kind of deal, whatever. Because if you do that, then that's not really going to look sensible. If, say, it was a tabletop piece, you could even just edge highlight around the lines, you know, of the horns there. But no, if you want it to look better or you have the extra time to do so, definitely do little striation lines. Just little short lines, some long, some short. Can you guys see that okay? Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it. Ooh, can you see? Might be able to see it a little bit on that. And you see in the shadowing there where there's like this blue purple. Gotta try and keep it in there. Alright. Trying to get more white. Then golden blonde. Then you just go and some short lines, some long lines. Then make sure to definitely get the edge there. There's other ways to do horns too. Like you could sit there and, you know, do the striations to highlight it, like in the further back part, and then at the ends, at the tips, you can sit there and darken those and use things like use paint colors like Reaper's brown liner or like a dark brown ink, or, you know, thin down some Reaper black and brown, stuff like that. So you can do stuff like that too. And you can darken the ends if you choose. And then if you want to add even more to it, like, okay, so we used this color to add some highlight in. And then you can go in with an even thinner brush with like that black brown kind of like I told you, and you can go in and add even more lines in just to add a little more detail. Like you can do that too. As a matter of fact, you can do that even here. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Oh, here we go. So I'll just even use, for an example, Reaper's black and brown and thin that down a little bit. That's assuming it's going to come out of the bottle. There we go. I just wanted a little teeny tiny bit. Ugh. And there's still water on the brush, so I'm just going to use that to kind of thin it down. But yeah, what you can do is you go in and like you can go in some random spots and just go in with the Reaper black and brown. And then create some random striation, like random stripes, because like random little lines, because horns are made of bone typically, and so you want there to be, if you want it to look realistic, then you have to do things like add striations and scratches and stuff like that. And just make it random. Don't, you know, some on the bottom, some coming from the top. You can even make some of those striations a little diagonal, you know. Do something like that. If there's a little part where you missed a little shadowing, then just go in with that. And that's what I'm doing there. There you go. There you go. Looking at that. Man, don't hate. Sitting there hating on me, looking on my brush. What you trying to say? And then when you go in again and do a little lighter striations, then you can do just linen white, for example. And then you go in some areas. And, you know, don't do a lot. Just do a few, because you want there to be a mix going on. You don't want it to look like you pinstriped and put like only like one or two colors. You want there to be a couple of them. And then you can even go in with like another color. Like you can go in with like a grayish brown, for example. You know, stuff like that. Do little dots. Things like that on the horns. There you go. I don't know how well you can see it up here, but can you see that a little bit? Contrast. Yeah, of course it adds contrast. Yeah, especially something natural like skin and, you know, stuff like that. You know, there's little wrinkles, there's this, that, you know, there's like so much to make stand out and everything. And when you're just starting out doing faces, oh, thank you, Falcon. What up? So when you do stuff like this, especially if you're learning to do stuff on faces, it usually is, thank you, it usually is easier to start off on a larger model and then go into doing smaller ones like 28 to 32 mil. There's so many colors in skin that you would never think of skin colors. Absolutely. And thank you, Kenny. Yeah, that's absolutely true. There are a lot of colors in skin that you wouldn't think. And as a matter of fact, if you're going to LVO, that's something that I do teach in my skin tones class. We discuss undertones in skin and how many different ones that there are, and we go over different ethnicities even, because that's where some people struggle, is with different ethnicities and such. You know, some people, they only paint like regular Caucasian skin, and so when it comes to things like Native American, Southeast Asian, Asian in general, or African American, or just African even, that people struggle, and they're like, well, what color do I do that skin? And it's like, well, it depends. What part of Africa are they from? Or, you know, where are they, you know, where they're from, and then I show just in general, just one example like Southeast Asian, and I show how many different skin tones that there are in Southeast Asian, and people are just like, their minds are just blown. They're like, you know. So there's so many different ways. Like even with African American, there's people with you know, there's African American people with like blue and purple, and their undertones are golden, or, you know, reddish, and, you know, stuff like that. So there's just so many different ones to go through. So yeah, there's a lot of colors in skin that you wouldn't think. One of the most common ones that you'll find in skin color, and you can even look it up online, different paintings that there were of people with Caucasian skin or other colors of skin, and you'll see things like greens and blues and you know, yellows. It's just there's so many different ones. It's just crazy. Yeah, but it's a lot more than you think. There's a lot in there. Now I'm looking and seeing in this hair, I think I'm just going to highlight. And with the texture, the way the texture of the hair is, I could sit there and lightly dry brush, but I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking it's going to take me a long time. Definitely I wouldn't finish it here on the show tonight, but at least you get an idea of what I'd be doing. And basically what I'm thinking is I'd go in, excuse me, with the detailed brush, going in, starting with some gray, and just follow along. You could even use the side of the brush. Here, I need to go to LVO for that class now. Well, skin tones, I believe, will also be taught. I'm also teaching that at Adepticon, I believe. Hey, pasty white is a color. That's true, it is. Okay, but still. But yeah, in Adepticon, if you look, okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but on metalheadminis.com, one of the newest things that we added to the site, starting right before New Year's, we added an events calendar in, and there's events that Metalhead Minis will be doing, whether it's me or Nestor or Scott or you know, anybody else in the crew, and other stuff in the community that's going on, some big events. You know, if people tell me, so if you have a big event that's going on, you can let me know, and then I can add it on to the calendar if you want. But yeah, it's an event calendar, and if you look under Adepticon in March, it'll say what classes we're teaching at Metalhead Minis. The Gen Con date, I got to, you know, the event is on the calendar too. Yeah, ReaperCon's already on there. That's a given for like the next 5 years. It's going to be on Labor Day weekend. Right on the main page near the bottom. Yes. Next paycheck, I will check to see if there's room in the class. Yeah, there might be, from what I understand, there might be a waiting list, but I might still have some spots left at LVO, but I mean, yeah, you're not going to LVO, are you? You should come to Vegas anyway. It's fun. There's a lot of drinking that goes on, but it's fun. I partake in the drinking, make no mistake. But yeah, there's an events page, and it has what classes are going on and stuff like that. So definitely be sure to check that out. And now I'm looking for the gray that I was going to use. Oh, I don't even think I pulled it yet. Oh, jeez. I'd forget my head if it weren't attached. I want to use a blue gray. And the reason why I want to use a blue gray is because I have some cooler colors in here, so I want to kind of keep that momentum going. Oh, this could work too. Ghost white. It's like a light bluish white. Yeah, all right, that works. I'll do that. No skin tones at ReaperCon. Oh, Yeji and Lynn are super fun together. Yeah, we are, especially since you and I are going to be twinsies wearing our Twitch leggings. Oh my god, we're going to be so cool. No skin tones at ReaperCon. So is there nobody at all teaching skin tones at ReaperCon? I mean, there's still time. They haven't done that call for teachers yet, but... Yeah, I wish you could do LVO too. But you are coming to Adepticon, right? Again, you did last year, if I remember right. So yeah, definitely do that. So I'm shaking up some Reaper Ghost White. If you don't have Ghost White, you should get it. It is a good highlight color. It's basically a light blue white. Oh, so Nako's no skin tones. Oh, okay, Nako, she's gonna teach skin tones. You did skin tones last year too at ReaperCon, didn't you, Yeji? I mean, I know you did chibi eyes. Which, guys, if you want to know how to do chibi eyes, seriously, she's really good at it. Life goals. Make it to Adepticon. You better come to Adepticon at some point. I spilled soy sauce on my Twitch pants. Yeji, like, for real? Well, did it come out in the wash? I use Stark White. Oh, is that House Stark? You're about to start up some controversy with the GOT. Oh, you only did chibis last year. Okay, I figured. Already got my hotel and plane ticket for Adepticon. That's my boy. That's my boy. I still gotta get my plane tickets, but my house is in the process of being sold, so I'm gonna use some of that money for that. That's awesome. Babe D made chibi eyes on hers without even trying. First year teacher at ReaperCon, so I only did one. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm not sure it came out in the wash. Girl, you better let me know. And if not, buy another one. It's only like $5. Those Twitch leggings, they're comfortable, guys. They're on Amazon. They're like $5. So I'm taking the Ghost White and I'm basically following the lines, the highlight lines on the hair. At the top, I'm going to be going over with more regular white. I have Reaper's Dragon White. It's one of the newer white colors. You know, I think it's from the Bones paints or whatever. They're good, by the way. Oh yeah! Aromatic Pose is now following. Yay! Welcome. We have a new friend, everybody. Say hello. I took the chibi eyes. I swapped the pupil colors, so it came out weird. Uh-oh. Yeji, you might need to help this young man. So yeah, so you can either paint in and follow along the lines like I'm kind of doing, or depending on, because the texture is so like in random spots, so that's why I'm not really doing the whole side of the brush thing. But if it was like straight down like it is in some areas, you can use the side of the brush and it's not going to hurt nothing. But so after the show, I get to eat dinner, and I can't wait to eat dinner. Guess what I'm having? I am having venison sausage from an actual deer that was hunted. I didn't hunt it, by the way. I don't even have time to go hunting if I wanted to, but yeah, there's actual venison sausage waiting for me that I cooked earlier with some zucchini and broccoli, or yellow squash and broccoli. Really excited. Yummy, save me some. Man, you better come get some. Matt probably ate most of it. Wait, y'all know what's comfy to wear? A unisex henchman t-shirt. Jesus. Bro, message me that link. Yes, Ryan, you have to buy the leggings. They're like $5. And then we can be the coolest kids at the sleepover. All wearing the same leggings. All wearing our Twitch leggings. Even Phil, Flickster, he's Flickster on Twitch. He got the men's leggings too in gray. When I posted the picture up to get Yeji and Michelle and everybody and Shoshi excited and stuff, Phil was like, I got them too. And I was like, bro. Now, I did not, you might see that I did not thin down the Ghost White. There's a reason why, and it's because I wanted to maintain a little bit of stiffness in the paint. I didn't want it to be too thin because I am going over the lines in the texture in the hair. And if I thin it too much, then it's going to end up pooling into the recesses. And then all the work that I did to create shadow, it would give me double work because I'd have to go back in and re-establish those shadows. And that's not something I feel like doing, to be honest. So I am not thinning. So when I'm doing small areas like that, or certain kind of lining like that, I make sure to not really thin down the paint, and I just let it do its thing. So that way I can do my thing. What we got here? Hi, Aromatic Pose. Hi, Lynn. The model looks great. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that. Waiting for Chris to transfer to Texas, and I'll be there. Shoot, you better. Really, I need to buy them now. Yeah, see? Now you need the leggings. Hey, Golden D6, message me that link for the shirt, that henchman shirt. Do you have tank tops too or whatever, or do you only have those shirts? On the Zazzle, you might need to check the page for the link, but there's a 10-year anniversary Metalhead Minis t-shirt too. And there's the link to order it through Zazzle. I love Zazzle. We had it done, the shirt done by before Christmas time, but I had to make sure that the crew got theirs first before we let it out to the, made it available to the public. I just did shirts, but leave that with me. We could do a t-shirt exchange. Yeah, totally we can. That sounds fine to me. Twitch leggings. Yep, that's the ones. Now, I know in the link it says 4XL, but they have them in other sizes too. Oh, got a link to the leggings. Won't we all look cute? Oh, Kenny, if you get it, I'll just die. That would be the funniest thing in the history of ever. Be Kenny in the Twitch leggings. Oh my god. You'd be getting ready for nap time in the afternoon when you get home from work in your Twitch leggings. See, like some of these areas here are examples of places where you can use the side of your brush to kind of go over the edges. And see, I'm making sure to take off all that excess water because I don't want the paint to pool, because then that's just going to give me extra work to have to do. And especially I did it with oils and then I'm going over it with acrylic. I don't want to have to go in again because then I have to wait. I'm doing this to lighten it up a little, or to darken it up a little. But if I sat there and had to go back in with the oils, then I'd have to wait another few days for it to dry before I'd go over it again. And that's not something I feel like doing. Now I'm making sure to touch up where highlight would hit, you know, or where light would hit. And then if there's certain areas where I feel like it came out too stark, I'll just go over with my finger just to kind of darken it up a little. Use the side of the brush because there's that long line there, and just kind of go over it. Oh yeah, that's right. I got your message like all over the place, Adam. You kill me. I wanted the onesie. Oh, that's right. You weren't able to wear the onesie, were you? The Twitch adult onesie. Oh yeah, Diana has it now. I may buy a couple more pairs so I can wear them during Twitch streams. Yeah, see? $5 though. Like, you can't go wrong with that. I'm going over this, double checking my work there. Alright. Especially when you're doing so many lines, you just gotta sit there and just, you gotta double check. Did I get this one? Did I get that one? Oh no, I missed this one. You know, it's just very typical. See, like, I didn't want to get underneath there. There we go. Clean that up. Whew! Caught it just in time. Whew! That was close. Can't be too careful these days. Spray and pray, baby. Oh my god. You're hysterical. Alright. I'm making sure to... And there's some areas you might have to go over more than once. When you go over some detail in the hair. But that's okay. Gotta make that detail stand out. It's important, especially textures like this. Curly, frizzy, frazzly. This is more like crimpy. Yeah, this one's like totally living in the 80s. I didn't want to get that far underneath. So I go in with a clean brush, and I'm cleaning that off. Yay! Great success. There we go. And you just go over. When you're doing texture, very important. Very important. I'm trying to get the line. Yes, Oliver James. What, you're bored hanging out in the room with me now? I'm not cool enough to hang with anymore? No? Oh, you want to go hang out with Daddy? Oh, I'm going to open the door for Ollie. I think he's hungry more than anything because story of his life, he's always hungry. Go ahead. I know. Go. Goodbye. Hoy. That cat seriously sometimes ends up crying when he can't see me even. I could end up being in the next room and then he'll end up crying in the room because he can't see me, and then I just say, Ollie, I'm over here, and then he happily runs into the other room and he's like, oh, okay, I can see you. I feel better now. He's so silly. He's such a silly cat. Anyone have what an eye on to the leggings? Oh, so he got the men's leggings. They were gray. Oh my god, Twitch leggings, onesie, and socks order. Prepare for it at Gen Con. Oh, Maron. That's hysterical. You know, they're probably sitting there in the store or whatever where they're fulfilling. Well, I guess they fulfill it at Amazon, huh? But like, wherever they're fulfilling it, and they're probably like, why is there this huge spike in everybody buying Twitch leggings? Maybe it's just because they're $5. Why does everybody have this obsession with Twitch jammy jams? That's too funny. Oh my god. If I go through and do every single line of texture in this air, it'll take me like 100 years. And I still have 17 more busts to do for Adepticon. This is not for what's coming to Adepticon. There are, there's a group of like 17 busts. You might have seen me post pictures of it on Twitter and stuff. And basically, George, the owner of Blackheart Models, is having me paint a bunch of them and sell them at the con because Twitch needs to hurry and sponsor Twitch Tuesdays. Yeah. Basically, there's... Oh, crap, now I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I hate when that happens. Oh, no, never mind. So, George, who's the owner of Blackheart Models, said that there's a bunch of people that ask for painted versions of the busts that he does. And so, at Gen Con, you know, this past Gen Con, he said to me, hey, can I get you to paint some busts? Because people keep asking me for painted versions of the busts. So I said, yeah, I'm sure I can do some. He gives me 17 of them. So, I'm going to do as many as I can. He's like, you know, if you can do all of them, that'd be awesome. But if you can't, you know, no big deal. I know you guys are a busy shop. So, I'm going to finish as many of them as I can. And then they're going to be sold at Adepticon, I believe, for $125 each. Because that's been, I guess, the average price or something that the painted versions have been selling for. So that's what we agreed on. And that's how much they're going to be sold for at the Blackheart booth, is $125 a piece. And there's different ones, really good ones. You can go look at them on my Twitter, but I posted some of it on my Facebook too. But there's a couple of Jason models, and there's Freddy Krueger. There's T'Challa from Black Panther, and M'Baku and Killmonger, also from Black Panther. Wakanda forever. And There's Michael Myers. I think I said Jason, right? Yeah, Jason, Michael Myers. A couple of dragon head busts. They're really cool. I can't wait to paint them. A couple of Medusa busts. And I feel like I'm missing something to tell you. Oh, Cyclops. There's a couple of Cyclops ones. And the ones that he gave me more than one of, for the most part, I'm doing like different versions of each one. So for example, with the Medusas, the one Medusa is being done in this greenish brownish skin kind of color. And then the other Medusa I have base coated in Demonettes of Slanesh colors. So there's going to be purples and gray purple and pink and that. He's sponsored by a Natural Skin Tones class. Yeah, he did. Oh, I know. I remember that. Hopefully that'll be different for this year. I mean, you got sent the numbers, right? Did Seth, I think Seth sent us the numbers for the class. And that's how I knew there should still be some open spots. But the thing is about LVO is kind of weird. So like when you look on the site to sit there and register for a class, you sit there and you see that there's open spaces, but that's because usually dragon heads. I know you love dragon heads. I'll make sure to do them on stream for you. They're base coated, but we'll do all the other stuff. Still no people in that class last year. LVO was always kind of weird though, because a lot of people end up signing at the last minute. Because when it comes to Vegas, and I think it's because of where it is, it's in Vegas. And in Vegas, people get excited and want to do so many things while they're there. And I think they just wait and see what plans come up before they sit there and commit and say, okay, yeah, I could sit for 2 hours to do this class. At LVO, and I'm being serious about this, there's like a lot of partying and drinking that goes on at LVO. It's a lot of fun. Like, don't misunderstand. It's really a lot of fun. But a lot of people, they get all into drinking and partying and stuff like that. And, yeah, so, I mean, that's just basically what happens. And so people don't really commit themselves to doing certain things. Because they want to make sure that they don't have anything else coming up. But usually, like, whenever I do classes at LVO, my classes usually end up selling out on the day of or at the last minute or something. It's always weird like that. But yeah, seriously, Edgy, I was honest to God very surprised when nobody took that natural skin tones class. You guys should have. You would have gotten, with the price of the class, you got a Blackheart model bust. I mean, it's really not a bad deal, if you ask me, truthfully. You got complaints on class price. But the class prices aren't even your fault. That's like the only convention that I could think of off the top of my head that we do that has the highest fees associated with the class. Because they take a LVO. I mean, I understand why. Don't misunderstand. I'm not complaining on LVO or anything like that. But they pay a lot to rent out Bally's, and then apparently to rent our part of the hallway where the classes are is like stupid expensive. So they had to find a way to make up the money. And so what they do is there's like a certain amount of the class that they take, and it's a pretty big chunk. In order to pay for the room. I'm not worried about it or whatever, but yeah, that's part of why. That's why LVO. That's why those classes are so expensive. We only get like a part of it, and then they have a big chunk that they take out in order to to recoup expenses from renting out Bally's and stuff. They charge. They like seriously. Bally seriously nickels and dimes LVO for like everything at the venue there. So but yeah, so we pay a pretty hefty chunk to teach the class. at LVO. So, but I mean the whole complaint on class prices, that's not even your fault. Your class was cheap too. To get a Blackheart, a full on Blackheart bust, and sit there and learn about doing skin, for your time in the class and everything. The class was cheap. Also, if any of you are going to LVO, CK Studios, I believe, will be there teaching too. So if you want to take airbrush classes, their classes are really good there too. I forget, Yeji, is Kat going to be doing the mandala class? Like that one with the thing that you and Kat both did with the dots or some shit. Is that class going to be going on over there too? Because I might want to go in and do that. There was a lot of complaining about class price at Adepticon, which I don't get. There's so much value in those classes. Yeah, dude. And here's the thing with Adepticon too. Something that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to how class pricing works. Some of that has to be accounted for is at Adepticon, for example, a lot of people come from overseas. Yay, dot stuff and acrylic pours. Ooh, hopefully I can do it. Geji, let's do it. Let's do those classes together. I want to do it. And so that we can hang out with Kat too. So basically, a lot of the instructors that come to Adepticon, they come from overseas. They come from Spain. They come from the UK. They come from Germany, Austria, and stuff like that. And so when we are hired on to teach at conventions, we're primarily basically doing it as a contractor. So it's like a contractor assignment, so to speak, or you're agreeing to do it as a contractor. So when we sit there and we teach classes at the conventions, we have to cover our costs, our travel, this, that, the other. There's not a lot of cases where our hotel is paid for. A lot of times that's actually not the case. So we have to account for those costs. And especially for someone who comes from overseas, from a totally different country, they have to account for those costs too. And on average, it costs them like $1,000 or two, $1,000, $2,000 to come to the U.S. to teach you. And so that has to be considered when you're paying for classes at places like Adepticon and even Gen Con, because I run all the miniature painting stuff at Gen Con too. And so I approach the instructors and say, hey, do you want to teach at Gen Con? And when they ask me, I have a whole thing written out for all the instructors. Yeji will tell you this. And I have a whole thing written out for all the instructors, and it explains everything. All of their costs that they have to account for, what they need to do, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, if you see that there's somebody like Sergio Calvo Rubio, or you see Angel Heraldez, or you see Banshee, for example, teaching in a class, or Ben Comets, and you sit there and you see them teaching in a class, and you're like, oh my God, why is it so expensive? Well, shit, think about how much it costs them to come there to teach you. And it's not like you're paying for their whole plane ticket. You're just chipping in for it. You're just, in essence, you're chipping in for Shirley's birthday cake at the office, So there's, you just kind of got to consider those things. Those are our costs, and we have to account for those when we charge you for a class. So it's not personal. It's just business. So yeah, that's nobody's fault. And then also too, at the conventions, we usually have to pay a fee on top of that per person that's in the classroom too. So those things have to be accounted for too. So a lot of those factors are all factored in when a price of a class comes into play. So that's why there's all those different things. So I'm looking here. What do you guys think? The Unnameable. I didn't finish doing the highlighting on the hair yet. I'm going to go over it again with the white on the highlighted areas. But I'm getting really hungry because I haven't eaten. I ate like I ate one hard-boiled egg before I came in to do the show. And then before that, I didn't eat since lunch at 11:45. So I'm a little hungry. and it's 8:10 and stuff. But yeah, so that's what we had going on today. I managed to finish putting in a little more detail on the skin. I'm happy with how the skin came out, and I'm happy with how the horns came out, so I'm not going to mess with that. Because if I keep messing with it, I know me, and I will mess it up. So I am going to finish up the highlighting on the hair. I'll probably do that after I eat dinner, unless I end up doing some cleaning and going to sleep, because I get up at 5 for work. But then also I will go in with the black, with the Stynylrez Res black primer like I did here for the back, and then I'm going to neaten that up too. And that's what I'll be doing. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to take pictures too and be like, hey, a result of the stream and stuff like that. And then the grease wash is still drying, and that's oil wash. And mind you, it's been 2 hours. I don't know if you can see the shine. But, yeah, it's still dry. So, thank you, Shane. Love you. Hugs and kisses from South Florida. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to go eat and stuff. And tune in next Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time, because I'm located in San Antonio, Texas. And also, thank you guys so much for being on with me. Maddox, thank you so much for the 100 bits of cheer. And thank you to our new followers, which is Maddox and Aromatic Pose. If I missed anybody, it's because I didn't get the notification and it didn't show up, but I'm pretty sure we got 2 new ones today. Glad to have Golden D6 on. Rarely ever get to see him, so it was nice to have him on as well. Be sure to follow Golden D6. They have an online magazine, and I write articles for Golden D6 occasionally and stuff. Have a great one. See you next Tuesday. I'm sorry. I have a foul-mouthed mind. Sorry, I read that and that was funny. So yes, I'll see you next Tuesday. See you next week. And also, sometimes I will still be streaming randomly when I can. But we have, so for right now, put Tuesday from 6 to 8 as our regularly scheduled programming time. So yeah. So be sure to share with everybody. Let everybody know that this show goes on. The more people we get on, bigger the show gets, the more we can do cool things like special giveaways and stuff like that. And yeah, so thank you so much for being on. Have a good night. Love you all. Mwah, mwah. You didn't think about that damn. See, Kenny, you get me. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.